Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now today apparently it's National Beer Day. I presume that's just in the UK. It might be around the world. If it is, happy National Beer Day. But today we're going to be doing another keg. It's a bit of a different one. And the reason why I've done it is because, just out of curiosity, one of the major things is the brewery that this beer comes from is quite famous for making a kind of beer hybrid, is probably the nicest way of putting it, or I don't know, maybe an insult to the beer world or whatever, but the brewery that actually originally did its most famous product was bought over by Heineken, and Heineken moved the brewing to a different brewery, shut down the actual original main brewery in the same place and moved it to a kind of another brewery owned by Heineken in the same city. So today we're going to be doing, if I can lift it up, Fischer, originally from the Alsace region, but then moved to the Grand Est region of France, which is right on the border with Germany. And this is a Fischer traditional blonde, because I just wanted to see what their actual beers are like, because well, maybe people don't know, Fischer was the company that did Desperado, which was a kind of a beer and beer products, because they did a few different types of Desperado, which is basically beer mixed with tequila, and or tequila flavouring, depending on how you want to kind of put it. So this basically is the company that's done that, but I'd always wanted to do, because I know Fischer because of Desperado, and I've drunk it in France and things like that, and I don't really mind Desperado. I take it for what it is, and it's more like a kind of, I treat it more like a kind of beer cocktail rather than a serious kind of beer alternative. And yeah, I suppose in hot summer's days in France, I've drunk ice cold Desperado and found it quite refreshing. So it's down to that. I mean, obviously if you apply beer snobbery, then of course in Desperado maybe is high on the kind of hit list, but let's see what Fischer's Blonde Traditional. And yes, they're saying it's from the Alsace region in 1821, if you can read what it says. And of course it's all in France, and of course it is still brewed in France. I'll do a quick thumbnail, and we'll put it in the beer monster, and we'll see what it's like. So we'll put it in there, get a glass poured off, and we'll see what it's like. So we'll be back in a moment. And we're now back. So we managed to get a pour. As you can see, it's quite a light lager, because it is a blonde and it's supposed to be a traditional kind of Alsace kind of blonde. And yeah, the kind of traditions are kind of mixed between French and kind of German kind of brewing kind of processes. But yeah, now this beer again I got from Beer Wolf, because they're doing what we call the pressurized kegs that can be obviously used without the CO2 canister in the beer monster. But again, it can also be dispensed with the tap provided as well, so you don't need a beer dispensing machine. Now it's roughly about £20.99 it is for 5 litres, and it's a 6% beer. So let's have a smell. Right, I'm getting grain, some grass, bit of a slight pepper. That's all coming from the hops. Not really, maybe a hint of malt, maybe an ever so slight hint, but nothing jumping right out at you. And that's really it. You're not getting anything else. It's not a bad head, but it's a typical pressurised keg, so you should expect to get a head. It'll probably dispel. Now obviously I had to do a test pour, and I wanted to kind of show you that this is what the test pour is like. Now the head was right up to the very top of the glass, so you can kind of see what it was like when it first poured, which is normal. You do get with these pressurised kegs, you will obviously get the first pour will be quite foamy, just because of how it works. But it's the same situation if you get a pressurised keg in a bar or a pub. The first couple of draws are basically all foam and things like that. So it's kind of clear, smell of grain and grass, maybe a hint of malt, but nothing else. So let's see what it tastes like. Oh, right. It does remind me of a kind of a French draft beer, so it does. It's got the kind of crispness, doesn't really have the dryness, it's got a bit of crispness to it, just a little bit of acidity at the end, but there's a bit of kind of malty sweetness to kind of start with. What I usually find is French beers, usually in bottles and cans, will give you more bitterness than French beer on press and or pressurised from the tap in the bar. So this is very similar. You're getting more sweetness, especially in the front of the mouth. It kind of slowly kind of dissipates a bit, reduces into the kind of mid-tongue, and that's when you get a little bit of hoppiness, and it's really based around about little kind of light grain and kind of grassy kind of flavours. You're not getting any bitterness really, and then of course it tapers off onto the kind of very short aftertaste, and the aftertaste again is based around about a little bit of acidity, which gives you that little bit of crispness. There's no dryness there at all, because the acidity isn't enough to bring the kind of dryness into it, and you'll still get a little bit of sweet accents from the malt, and that's it. That's what basically we're getting here. So yeah, as you can see, very easy to drink, very nice. As a 6%er, it doesn't feel like 6% in any way, shape or form. Very sessionable, very drinkable, completely unoffensive, actually very, very nice. I mean, let's be totally honest, on any summer's day, whether in the UK or anywhere else in the world, a nice warm summer's day, this would be absolutely refreshing, superb from that point of view. Cold winter's night? Less so, because I don't know, but a lot of, if people are like me, but a lot of people like me prefer in cold weather something more heavier, something more full bodied, something with a lot more flavour, because you're not really going to be drinking it for refreshment and thirst quenching. You're drinking it because you're looking for the more complex flavours, you're looking for something that's more interesting. Even with the more sessionable ones, you wanted something a bit more darker, and just something that's going to kind of go with all the kind of food that you'd probably eat on a cold winter's day, like kind of roasts and stews and all these kind of heavier foods. So you want kind of your beer to go the same way. That's what I am like, and I know quite a lot of people and friends are similar. But on a warm summer's day, then this is the type of stuff that you really want, especially if you just need a beer. You just feel that kind of mugginess and you feel uncomfortable. You just want a nice beer just to kind of cool down and refresh yourself. And this, I would say, I'm going to mention it again, is far better and far nicer than your kind of mainstream piss water. I mean, if you compare this to 1664, it's not even close from that point of view. I find it just chemical piss. Still Artois 4.6, well, it's actually got better at 4.6 because you don't have such a strong chemical aftertaste you used to get when it was 4.8 and 5%, so it's actually a bit more drinkable, but again, it's still piss, and it's not particularly nice. I find it's not particularly nice. This is far nicer, and this is 6%, not 4.6. Foster's, well, I think it's got that kind of mouthfeel of Foster's that is very easy to drink. But there's just a little bit more to it than that. I mean, let's be totally honest, it is a French blonde. It is brewed by Heineken, let's be totally honest. It's not basically up there with the kind of top Czech Pilsners and German Pilsners and things like that. It is a lighter, easy-going, fresher beer. It's not up there with Belgian blondes either, but it's a nice, drinkable beer. And for the money and the alcohol content, I can't really fault it. So, what would I give this out of 10? I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. I would say it's above average. I mean, I'll be totally honest, if you were going on that, I would be putting your mainstream piss waters, like a good example, like your Stella Artois and your 1664, I'm putting them down kind of into the kind of 2s and 3s, and that's me being generous. I mean, some of them, well, I'll be totally honest, probably wouldn't even get a 2. But yes, you're talking about the 2s and 3s type of thing, so this is well above it. Take 5 as being an average. I would say it's above average with mouthfeel, just how nice and easy it is to drink, and it really is very easy to drink. And I've got 5 litres, but I do have a friend coming over tomorrow, so he's going to help me to drink that, so that's quite good, or is it? But anyway, that means I'll be sharing the beer. But yeah, 5.5 out of 10. I would recommend it. At £20.99, I just find it's just a better quality beer. I find a lot of the times with the kegs, within the type of beer you're getting in the kegs, I would say that they're offering a better product in the kegs than they are in, say, the bottles or the cans. There you go. If you want to spend that money on that amount of beer at the one time, then great. If you don't, then it's not such an attractive proposition. I understand that. Maybe just a couple of cans or a 4-pack now and again is what people want to buy. Then buying 5 litres like that and not having a beer machine, so then you really have to drink it quite quickly, then yes, I can see the downside of that. But I would recommend this if you are in the market for buying kegs. It's 5.5 out of 10. There's 6%. Cheers, thanks for watching, and bye for now.